Hello and welcome to a CBK gaming review video. Today we are looking at an expansion for Mansions of Madness, Path of the Serpent, which is a large box or big box expansion. What does that mean? Well, it contains 3 new stories. There are 4 new investigators with a different set of skills to the others that come in the expansions beforehand and the main box. There are a number of new tiles, a number of new monsters, and a couple of, or in fact 2 new mechanics.
Yeah.
Price point is between £40 and £50 in the United Kingdom, depending if you go to Amazon or Zatu. So, we've played this game, or we've played Mansions of Madness a lot. We've played these stories a number of occasions, and they are actually different enough from the stories that are already in the game to make it really interesting.
Yeah.
So, looking from our perspective, as we always do, let's take a quick look at the components, and you get a fair bit of there are a fair number of components. As we've said, there are 4 new investigators, each with their own unique style. You get a number of new monsters, the large snake being my personal favourite, and the normal boards that you get within the Mansions of Madness, and the tokens that you use for doors, and these vines and rubble mechanic which have been added as part of this. It's it's a typical Fantasy Flight style game, and it's what you see is what you get. I personally, I think, components wise, for the price point, it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I was going to agree with that as well. It is exactly what you expect from a Fantasy Flight Mansions of Madness expansion.
Yeah, it's
not lacking anything. It's everything you expect it to be.
So, quality. Now this, in my view, falls at the same point of Mansions of Madness. The investigator, the quality of the miniatures just simply isn't there when you compare it to Simon or or Tainted Grail. But they're functional. They do what you need for this board game. These figures do not make me want to rush out and paint them, as we've said, Folklore and other games have done. So the board pieces are good. The tokens are good. They do get roughed up after quite a lot of use. We have played Mansions of Madness a lot, and they're becoming a little bit dog-eared, but not that badly. So quality wise, I'm going to have to go with a 7, just because I think the miniatures increase the price of the games, and they're just not as
when
good
they're not
quality.
as good as others that you know are out there.
Not for the
can
price you're paying for this expansion.
No, I'll completely agree with you on that.
Okay,
so complexity.
it's an expansion. We know what you're getting. It doesn't add anything overly complex. Eldritch Horror can add some more complex types of play mechanics into the game. Arkham Horror, I don't think does, or the 3rd edition. No, this doesn't really.
No, it's nice that we've got an extra little.
They're flavourful.
It adds a bit of flavour to it, but it's not a huge game changer.
No,
which is nice actually, because you know what you're doing. You're just sitting down for the next instalment, the next game that comes with this expansion, and so you don't want something that completely changes the gameplay. And they just add a little.
It's Mansion of Madness.
Yeah.
And
there's a new puzzle as well, which we found.
Yes.
Which I quite liked that one. I'm not going to give anything away how to do it, but I enjoyed that new puzzle.
Yeah, they've added through the app they can add and change puzzles, which I think is a great way of doing things. So again, complexity. It's a very easy game to learn. The Fantasy Flight have got their rules done very, very well. So for me, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to go with an 8 as well.
Okay, replayability. Now this has to be taken into consideration the entire Mansion of Madness set. We have played these games many, many times. We really enjoy it. The app gives a random element to it. So that's exactly the same with this. Whilst the expansion adds only 3 more stories, the cards and the investigator and the monsters will permeate through the other stories that we have. So it allows you can play these investigators in the other expansions. You can use all the unique items, the spells, you name it, it's there to be used, and the actual map pieces as well. So replayability is going to sit again at an 8.
I was actually going to put it at a 9 because this always hits as a high replayability for me because of the app. Because even if you get the same puzzle come up, the solution's going to change.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's little things like that just increase the replayability for me. And it may not be me doing that puzzle next time. It may be a different character that finds it at a different place. You never know when things are going to come up. Yeah. And I really like that.
So let's look at the fun factor. And I think if you've watched our review of Mansion of Madness, it's no secret that we at CBK Gaming all really enjoy Mansion of Madness. Chris has a love for war games and some of the story games. You're a lot more into the story games and narrative games, cooperative games. I cross both boundaries. I really enjoy war games and I really enjoy the storytelling games. Cooperative games, I like it when you work together to overcome something, and this is very much in our common ground, and it pretty much is more Mansion of Madness, more story. Is it essential to get? Well, no, I don't think it is. I think we'll certainly rate it highly. But there are other expansions which add a bit more Lovecraftian flavour. And for me, that's very much the Streets of Arkham and Horrific Journeys. I've very much more enjoyed those expansions, especially the museum escapade and the airship. Because they give this, there's very few monsters, it's a gradual build up of tension and time's running out, the story's well told. These stories, they were much more in your face.
Yes, yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'll say the museum one, up until now, the museum one has been my favourite. I've really enjoyed that, and it's the investigation, it's the having to sit down with a pen and paper and make notes because you've got to find answers, and one of these is very similar.
Yes, yeah,
and I really enjoy that. That's what I get.
I enjoyed that.
The enjoyment I get from Mansions of Madness are from stories like that, and this actually has an investigation one like that.
So fun factor for me, this is a 9.
Yes, yeah.
It continues on from where Mansion of Madness left off. So overall, again, I'm actually going to give this a 7 out of 10 because it's not as good as I've said, in my opinion, as Horrific Journeys or Streets of Arkham. they're the stories I would pick above these. It adds a lot more content to the game. I really enjoy Mansions of Madness doing these box sets. We do collect them, we do pick them up as soon as they come out, because they are fun and they do add that extra story and give a little bit more longevity to a game that we really enjoy. But it just falls a little bit below the two I've already mentioned.
Yeah, see, I agree with you on that, but I've enjoyed it so much, I'm actually going to go with an 8 overall, because it does still, for me, the core box set was like getting a great new book, and you step into that world, you love that book, and then the next expansion is the next chapter that comes along, and then the next instalment, and this is the next instalment in the huge series for me.
I absolutely agree. I just think I'm more drawn to some of the other stories. We will actually put a link to the locations where you can buy this, probably from Zatu, who we purchase a lot of our games from. So I think all that remains is to say thank you for watching. This was our quick review of Mansions of Madness Path of the Serpent. We'll be looking at Cthulhu Death May Die, bringing you that review next week. We have friends over and are playing Death May Die with them over the weekend, along with Eldritch Horror, Arkham Horror, Mansions of Madness, and a number of other games, all Cthulhu related, of course. So thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. We've seen a number of new subscribers and would like to say, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy watching us bring our passion for board games and geek-related topics. If you've got any ideas, any games you'd like us to look at, any reviews you'd like us to do, please just leave a message in the comments below. We will look to do some more reviews. We're going to be reviewing Acquire, and that's going to go on our Throwback Thursday, where we're going to review once a month games from our childhood and formative years. We're also going to be doing, or I'm going to be reviewing Night Fighter Ace for Wargame Wednesday, which will be doing a Wargame once a month as well. And they may cross over because I will be looking to do Victory in the Pacific, which my father bought me for Christmas many, many, many years ago. And I have played a lot of, and I really enjoy. But yes, we'll have to see. So thank you for watching. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.